episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. I hope you had a wonderful Thursday. I know I did. I spent it at the Council Bluffs Farmers Market, and great crowd. A little bit breezy when we got started at 4:30, but it was still a wonderful time, and thanks to everyone involved with that. Coming up very soon, we are going to talk with Zack Jones. He is the owner and artist in Malvern and has Art Church. And it's a wonderful facility. And I had a chance to catch up with Zack and talk to him about a music festival, an art festival that's coming up on May 10th in Malvern. Lots of things going on, and a little bit of the history of Art Church and everything that's involved with it. Fascinating guy. Had a great time talking with him, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that we have him on the show. So that's going to be coming up very, very soon. Also, I want to remind you that Castle and Associates of American Family Insurance is your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations. They're in Trainer, Council Bluffs, Bellevue, and Elkhorn. They are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call today for your free quote. And if you missed it, Travis was a guest on yesterday's Local Roots show, answering some insurance questions, giving a little clarity to some of the changes that have been going on inside of the insurance industry and probably to your insurance policy. So if you didn't open up that letter that came in the mail, you probably should. So get a hold of your agent or give Travis a call. He'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Do you or does someone you love need in-home care? Home Care Advocacy Network helps you maintain your own privacy in your own space while still receiving care and support with a personalized touch. Aging in place can be critical for many people. Home Care Advocacy Network can meet those needs with an understanding that assisted living is best at home. HCAN of Southwest Iowa brings the personal touch to care at home in Council Bluffs, Glenwood, Red Oak, Clarinda, and all the surrounding communities. Visit hcan.com/Southwest Iowa to learn more. We're going to have Nikki Black, the director of Home Care Advocacy Network of Southwest Iowa, on the show on Monday. So look forward to that. And she's going to fill you in more on everything that it is that they do. Joining us this morning, it is Zack Jones from Art Church in Malvern. Big event coming up, Zack. You have an outdoor festival on the 10th of May, and, well, a big thank you to Rebecca for reaching out to me to remind me that it was going on and said, hey, you got to talk to Zack. I said, all right, let's make that happen.
Yeah. No, I've organized a lot of events over the years. The Malvern Concert Series, the Southwest Iowa Art Tour. This is the first time I work with Rebecca Castle, now Laughlin, and she's been the president of SWINT, which is the Southwest Iowa Nature Trail, the Wabash Trace. And she tried writing a grant for me, and this is where this festival all stemmed from. And the goal was to write a grant to help get the Art Church handicapped accessible. I'm on a hillside. I got lots of stairs. It's a 150-year-old building built in 1873. And it has plenty of challenges, but one of the bigger ones is accessibility. And so we wrote this grant, and we didn't get what we were shooting for, but I have to stick with the guidelines of being accessible. So the money that I did receive, I've put it all towards live music. And so May 10th, I've got live music. I'll backtrack a little bit. I'm starting off with a yoga class that's inside the Art Church at 10 a.m. And then at 11, I'm doing a drum circle. It takes me back to my Arizona days in Tempe, downtown Tempe. They'd have this drum circle on the weekends. And so I thought, you know what, my neighbor, he's always out beating on his bongos. And I got to talking to him, and I was like, hey, you want to do a drum circle? So he's putting that together. And I like things that are obviously different. So we'll do a drum circle 11 to noon. That's open to anybody, anyone that's ever done it, or previous drummers, you're welcome to show up. That's 11 to noon, and this is on Prospect. So I've got the Art Church, and right next door, the Art House. I'm going to close the street down, and that's where a lot of things are going to happen, is between these two properties, the Art House and the Art Church. So the drum circle's at 11, and then live music begins at noon. with Larry Dunn, which he just opened up a little Breezy Acres guitar repair shop downtown. And then I've got Matt Cox. A lot of people know Matt Cox. He's from the area here. And then I've got the Prairie Gators, which is a Zydeco band. And they'll be playing around, what time are they playing? 3 o'clock. Swamp Boy Blues Band at 5 o'clock. And then Chris Lager starts at 7. So it's an all-day live music. I'm also using this as some outreach as far as the arts go. I'm going to do my studio is basically the little outbuilding behind the art house, and it needed painted years ago. And so I'm going to do a paint a mural, and whether it's kids, adults, whoever, they'll have an opportunity to paint on this building, and we'll just make it up as we go. And then I'm doing tie dye, which again, trying to reach out to for kids, um, family friendly. And then I've got a potter, Tom Harnick. He does. He's going to do a raku firing, so you can paint a pot and then they'll fire it. It's about a 2-hour process, but you can paint a pot, get it fired, and take it home the same day. So there's a lot of different activities happening, but that's kind of the idea, is to have several entities of the arts happening all at once.
What's the response been from folks in the area that know the event is coming up? What kind of feedback are you hearing?
You know, it's hard to say. I know there's a lot of people that are excited. I know, I've been organizing with the help of Rick Hilliard, the Malvern concert series for about 11 years now, and so I've had people that say they're super excited for that. I've had a hard time reaching the younger audience, which is part of the reason why I'm trying to do some of these other art activities to try to get kids involved, families involved. Um, I think if I get in attendance, people are going to walk away thinking like that was a really cool environment. To have people actually creating art along with the music. The art house will be open. I use that as a gallery space, so it has my artwork inside. It's also an Airbnb, so this is also an opportunity to open up the doors, because I get a lot of random people say, "Hey, can we come and see the art church or see the art house?" And when it's an Airbnb, it's either booked or I'm in the midst of a project, and it's like I don't want to stop my workflow. So I try to get people, direct them towards the events that I do. And so this is a great opportunity. If you've never been to the art church or the art house, you can come. It's open, and hopefully enjoy some live music while you're at it.
I've been several places around the country, and smaller communities, for some reason, seem to draw artists. And I'm thinking, South Central Colorado. There's places there. There's a number of places in New Mexico. You mentioned Arizona, and some of these small towns. It just seems to like there's a feel in a small town that you don't get in a larger metropolitan area, and it's I find it fascinating and also encouraging that we're seeing that same kind of thing happening around Southwest Iowa, that we're starting to see more and more artists.
Yeah, I think too, there's been a lot of people that have done it for years, but they don't really announce it the same way that I do. I decided to make it my living, so, I've got to promote it and do things. But I also feel like since I've been back since 2006, I've seen a lot more people come out of the woodwork, or people that, are from a smaller community of, say, whether it's, 1,200 like Malvern or 5,000, but, just because they do make it their full-time livelihood, they move to a larger city just because it's a numbers game. But the internet's helping with that too. Um, I definitely like the slower pace of life. Seems to fit well with creativity. Um, but I don't know if you're absolutely right with the smaller town and people seeking it. I mean, a lot of artists are kind of would rather be isolated to where they can kind of think and get into their art. But then also there's the yin and yang where you need to be around people too. It's,
Well, that is true, but at the same time, I grew up in a town, that's really tiny. It's less than 50 people now, but so as I was forming, growing up into my teenage years at night, there's a quiet that you don't experience anywhere else
that,
other
yeah.
than other than in a small community, and that at times I think can connect you into yourself at a different level than if you're sitting in the old market in Omaha and just a constant noise.
Yeah. Well, when I first moved back, I lived in Arizona for 11 years, and I didn't realize how much noise there was that I had just grown used to. And I moved back, and it was the year of what's the locust, the other name for the locust?
Oh,
The
cicadas.
cicadas, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were going crazy, and I was staying with my brother out in the country. And boy, those things were going like nuts that it almost freaked me out because I wasn't used to. I was used to planes flying and hearing cars in the background. Uh, but once those were passed, then you do notice just um, I refer to nature a lot, and that's something that inspires me. And I do think in the rural areas you do notice your surroundings much more when it's a little quieter.
We're looking at your background, obviously. I'm assuming you did that.
Yeah,
And is this an ongoing project for you? Are things changing inside of Art Church all the time?
it hasn't changed since quarantine. The last part that I painted on was actually the tulips.
Okay.
Uh, this is the south wall here, and that was all white. And during quarantine, that's when everyone started live streaming. And so I thought, well, you know what? I have nothing better to do. I'll set up
Oh,
and
that is awesome.
started painting the tulips, which it was spring and the tulips were growing, and I thought that seems appropriate. And at that point, we didn't really know how bad things were going to be, or there was a lot of unknowns. So I thought, springtime tulips, they'll maybe make you feel a little more at peace.
There was a lot of folks doing that same kind of thing, some famous, some not so famous. There was an old radio buddy of mine that he was retired. And when everybody was locked up in their homes, he would do a live stream, turn on an old country song, and dance with his wife.
Oh,
And
that's
it was, I was like,
yeah,
man, this is just awesome
yeah,
to be able to make that kind of connection and to see that kind of thing. And it sounds like you were probably feeling a lot of those same things. Is that I'm going to do some work here and see if we can't connect to some people, at least electronically.
yeah, exactly. I mean, if there was one good thing that came from that is, the world did kind of slow down a little bit, and it seemed like I tuned into a lot more music of
Mm-hmm.
musicians because all of their gigs got canceled, so they were doing a lot of live streaming, and it was a different time, but it wasn't all bad.
No, there was, well, some things were and some things were not. I used to, every Wednesday night, I used to watch a live show from Lucas Nelson. He was in his living room in Maui doing an
Yeah,
acoustic show just by himself. And that was on Instagram. And I looked forward to it every Wednesday night at 7. So,
yeah.
yeah, there was,
I had a Thursday night guy that played down in Arizona. I used to go see, and he started doing a live stream on Thursdays, and yeah, it was cool.
so any more planning still going into the event on May 10th? Is there more to do? Or are you pretty well set? Where are things sitting right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's all coming together. There's a lot of little details. This event has grown to the point where it's like, you know, I don't know if it's going to be 200 people show up, 500 people show up. It's the great unknown. And then it's like, well, I'm actually seeking some volunteers just to kind of have some eyeballs on the ground to help, if somebody's looking for something or to empty trash cans or, um, walk through the art church to make sure, someone's not painting on the walls. but there's little details, but the music's all lined up, the activities are all laid out. Really, I'm just hoping for some nice weather, and I do have the following day, May 11th, which is Mother's Day, has a rain date. If it does happen to rain on the 10th, it'll just get moved to the next day. But, and I also kind of look at this, I like to cross promote other businesses, local businesses, regional businesses. Perea, they're going to be serving beer and wine. We're going to do a pop-up bar out of the art church downstairs. And they also have a trailer, so they'll serve from their trailer. I've got the Hooch Hut and Juan's Mexican Grill. So I've got some vendors. I've got some street vendors as well, with crafts and so it'll be fun to see it all come together. Um, it's interesting. I've never done this, so between the two properties, to have it filled up with people and music, and then I'm just one block off of Main Street too. So we have the Mezzo Cocktail Bar opened up a couple years ago. My wife has the Gypsy Spa, which also serves coffee and teas. Classic Cafe is an anchor. And then we have a new Teed Up Tavern, which has a couple golf simulators as a sports bar. They took two old Main Street buildings, opened it up into one big facility sports bar. It doesn't look like anything you'd expect to see in, a small town of 1,200. And then we have Emily McQueen from Glenwood. She has Fine Arts on Fifth, and everything is within walking distance. So that's kind of also part of my goal, is to get some people into town, and definitely come to the festival, but take a stroll downtown. There's new owners. It used to be C&M's Cafe. It's now the Salty Heifer. They have Cheeseburger Saturday. They already get hammered. I'm hoping they get hammered a little more. But they do like a $6 cheeseburger basket, and that's all day on Saturday. And so yeah, there's come to Malvern. I say make it to Malvern. I also, the Wabash Trace, the nature trail.
Mm-hmm.
Malvern is located right in the middle of the Wabash Trace. It's a 63-mile nature trail, rails to trails. There's not a lot of them around. We're very fortunate to be on the trail, and so I encourage people, especially this time of year, spring and the nice weather, the bugs aren't really out. Jump on your bike and make it to Malvern.
Yeah, it's should be a great time, and I'm trying to get my schedule so I can get down there. I've got stuff going on in Council Bluffs that same day, but I think that it's still going to be able to make it down, mid-afternoon or so. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to standing inside your art church there and actually seeing what that looks like. Looking up as opposed to just on a video screen.
Yeah, I know when people walk in, they just that is what they do. They just look up and pictures only can do so much,
Mm-hmm.
but when you see it, firsthand, it's much more spacious than what people expect. So it'll be open.
Well, let me before we wrap things up, let me give a plug in there for your Airbnb, because I know that you've got it to where people can actually stay there. I saw the listing. It looks phenomenal. It looks great.
It's not. I always kind of joke. It's not. The church potluck down in the basement. You kind of have an image of an old church, and
they all smell the same too.
Yeah, I acid washed the concrete floors, put in a concrete countertop. It's full of art, and so it's that kind of has its own little surprise for people as well.
The Outdoor Festival in Malvern is coming up on May 10th. Zack Jones with Art Church. Thanks for your time. Grateful that you made this all happen, and we could visit for a little bit. And I'm looking forward to a very successful event, and hopefully we can chat again soon.
No, well, thanks for having me and supporting the rural communities.
Coming up in just a couple of weeks, it is the NAMI Walks event that will be held in Council Bluffs at River's Edge Park. That is on May 17th. I'm going to be there as the MC, and leading the festivities. I'm really looking forward to that, and working with all the folks at NAMI again. Always have a great time. And anytime they ask me to do something, and I had mentioned to them that if they get any corporate sponsors, any businesses want to help out with NAMI walks, that I'm going to give you a free month of sponsorship on the local Roots show. Mid-States Bank of Neola took advantage of that. Mid-States Bank of Neola is a community bank dedicated to providing the highest quality customer service through tailored banking experiences, innovative products, and highly trained employees. As a community bank, the hard-earned money you deposit works even harder as they reinvest it in the communities in which we live. From the corner coffee shop to the new apartment complex to maybe even a 10,000-acre farm operation just a few miles away. It's Mid-States Bank of Neola, helping to build and sustain Western Iowa. If you have a leak, a clogged drain, or if you're planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered. Fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. Locally owned and trusted, they take pride in doing the job right the first time. Residential or commercial, big or small, when plumbing problems strike, call Waldstein Plumbing. Visit waldsteinplumbing.com for a free estimate. Yeah, you can tell. And I don't know whether you're aware of this or not, but these shows are not recorded live. I always record them the night before, usually, because just in case anything goes wrong, I want to have time to fix it. So you can tell by my hair, I'm still a little windblown from being out at the farmer's market last night. Yeah, this is what my hair looks like. And if you go on my Facebook page and the Les Hills Media and Podcast Facebook page and look at the live webcast that we did last night, from there, yeah, my hair was just all over the place. This is the bane of having really thick and dry and coarse hair. Just blows around everywhere. All right, that's going to wrap up the show and the week here on Local Roots. Thank you so much for being a part of things. Thank you to Western Iowa Development Association and Stacy Kenny. I'm a brand new member there. Also, thank you to Jitsi Loader at the Mills County Area Chamber of Commerce for all of her wonderful tips and helping to line up some of these interviews. That has been very helpful too. And wanting any information that you have, if you know of a great story that's out there, send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com. We're here to tell the positive stories. I was just talking to somebody last night about this, that if you're looking for negative, you got a lot of outlets, but you don't have this one. This is not going to be a negative show. We're going to focus on the positive things that are happening all around Southwest Iowa and closer to home in Pottawatomie County and Mills County, Harrison County, the different places and the different communities that we all call home in Southwest Iowa. We want to tell the positive stories that are happening there. That's the purpose of this show, and I'm very happy that you have received it so well. All right, I'm going to get off because I got loud motorcycles in the background. So my name's Todd Studer. Have a great weekend.